BFM 89.9, I'm Audrey Raj with your World Cup Quickie. If you woke up to a burning smell this morning, that is not the haze. That is the ashes of the dreams of every Brazilian fan in the world. They're calling it a national tragedy. Brazil, the self-proclaimed heir to the World Cup throne, they were waxed 7-1 by Germany in the semi-finals at Belo Horizonte this morning. Thomas Müller opened the floodgates before Miroslav Klose, Toni Kroos with a double, and Sami Khedira made it 5-0 in less than 30 minutes of the match. Now, if you're not aware, the Brazil team bus has the words, "Brace yourself, the sixth is coming." They're talking about the World Cup, but the sixth goal surely did come for the Germans as they made it 6-0 after the break thanks to Andre Schürrle, who surely scored the seventh goal for the Germans as well to make it 7-0 all the way to the 90th minute when Oscar scored a consolation for Brazil. The Brazilians left the pitch in tears with the fans booing from the stands and the memes flying off social media with no mercy, not even for Christ the Redeemer himself. Needs to be noted though that Klose's goal in the first half that made it 2-0 to Germany, that made him the all-time top scorer in World Cup history, overtaking Ronaldo. Not Cristiano Ronaldo, but the now overweight former Brazil forward Ronaldo. So Germany will be flying high as they head into the finals. This Sunday, they will take on either Argentina or Holland, who are in action tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. I'll be back with a wrap-up of that match right here on the Morning Headlines. For now, here's Aziff.
Good morning, I'm Aziff Azuddin. You're watching Morning Headlines. It's the 9th of July. So today I want to bring your attention to two different papers. Which one do you believe is more sensational? In my opinion, it's Berita Harian. Strangely enough, I think they switched editors today, but let me tell you why. If you see on the front page, we have a story of a baby which was found in a dump. We have a story of a Nigerian who was impaled by a lamppost in an accident. We have a story of a student who lost all 5 fingers playing with fireworks. This is a story which occurs every single Ramadan. But I think the most hilarious story of all on the front page is a claim made by the Health Ministry. So the Health Ministry has come out to say that there is a possibility of aedes being spread all over the peninsula via express buses. So you have the headline, "Aedes ikut Balik Kampung." And you have a nice picture, caricature here of a picture of a mosquito riding express buses going back to kampungs, which is quite hilarious. So if you read the report today, there are no strong logical claims being made on this story, which I find really funny, which makes it interesting to compare it to Harian Metro, which is very sober today. We have a story in the front page here about wives who beat their husbands, which is kind of scary when you think about it. Apart from that, normal stories. Sinar Harian, on the other hand, always interested in Selangor politics. We have the headline here, Nasihat Azmin. So apparently, people have been speculating that MP Khalid will be stepping down as Selangor Chief Minister. So Azmin Ali has come out and advised people, to not believe in these rumours, which is quite interesting because these two have always been in a very bitter competition against one another. But what's interesting up here is the story of Kolam Patin Babi. It's been suspected that the bones of a pig were found in a fish breeding pond, especially during the time of Ramadan when people are worried about halal, haram and what's good and what's not. A bit of scaremongering here being done by Sinar Harian, but I think it's the same throughout most of the Malay papers. You will see stories of the same nature, right? But not worth focusing on, in my opinion. So Utusan today takes on a more sober tone. We have the headline here, LHDN bertindak. So the tax department has finally cracked down on companies that have been avoiding taxes for the past 3 years. So the government has been making losses for up to about 2 billion ringgit, which is quite a lot of money. Now, I can understand why people want to avoid and not pay taxes. I mean, first of all, we're not sure if money is going in the right direction. But I mean, think about it. This tax money is being used for the country's development. What's interesting also here is that the tax department has finally managed to recover about up to 1.3 billion ringgit via intensive auditing and also investigations. The two things you can't escape in life is death and taxes, and this is an instance of it. What I really love about the Malay Mail today is, here you have the story, we have the right to operate where we want. So this is something the soup kitchens have been very, very adamant about over the past 2 weeks, especially after Kunan's very controversial statement, right? On the internet yesterday, you have noticed that the Malay Mail online ran a feature talking about the stories of the homeless, and I think it's a very touching story. If you haven't read it, please go and read it. I think it's very good. The Malay Mail's paper today also continues with the homeless issue on many different facets, talking about it on the governmental level, on the soup kitchen level, also bringing stories about the homeless. I think we need to to paint a complete picture, and the millennial has done it really well. Kudos to you guys. The Star, however, talks about a different sort of homeless, those living down south. So you have here the headlines, homeless by choice. We have people who are working in Singapore who stay in JB Central by night, which is open 24 hours. Whatever seems to be the case, the Family and Women Department of Johor has stated that apparently these people staying in JB Central are earning about 2,000 to 5,000 ringgit a month, which means they could afford a room. But I guess it's a lot cheaper to stay in somewhere which is open 24/7 and also a free lodging, right? The Straits Times takes a very different trajectory, talking about the Eskom operations in Borneo. So you have the headlines, Eskom revamped. Prime Minister Najib has of course officially announced that Eskom will be revamped, and of course with the coming of their new director, he's come out to say that the security in Sabah will be improved by 85% by next year. And I really hope it does so, because we can't really afford to have more kidnappings happening in Borneo. The Sun, however, takes a very interesting note. Here's the headline, moles identified. So Home Minister Zahid Hamidi has announced that the department has identified suspects who have been leaking security information to Sulu terrorists or Sulu kidnappers. Apparently, they are supposedly Southern Filipino. This is a very interesting time for Malaysia, where people are making a lot of statements, but we have not yet seen results. And my word of the day today is Balik Kampung. Not only for people who are looking forward to Raya, which is in 2 weeks' time, but also to homeless, also to authorities, and giving the homeless a place to stay, a place to feel like they belong. Balik Kampung is about belonging somewhere, going back to where you belong, and I think the homeless deserve more than that. So that's all I have for you this morning on Morning Headlines. I'm Aziff for BFM 89.9.